Welcome to another edition of Chocobo Chasers. As always, I am G, and I am joined by the Chocobros, Eric and Dash. How are you guys doing on this fine afternoon?
Doing pretty
Fantastic.
well.
Good to
It's
hear.
weird. It's weird doing this on the Wednesday, but we
It
got this
is,
getting this
yeah.
together.
Getting spouse
We'll just
birthdays
post this
and
shit tonight.
yeah, spouse birthdays. Shogun. We had
Happy
a
birthday,
Oh,
Al.
yeah.
yep. Happy
Well,
birthday, Al.
Happy
well,
birthday to my
yesterday
beloved
wasn't just
bride.
for Shogun. I did watch History of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
That was a
So
fun movie.
yeah, it was a
It
really
was.
fun time. Uh, as always, be sure to like, share, subscribe wherever you go ahead and get your podcasts. We have a pretty fun show lined up for us today. And as always, we're going to go ahead and we're going to kick the show off with what are you playing? I'll actually go ahead and get us started this week. I've been playing actually a few different games this week. So one game, and I'll talk about it more later in the show. Final Fantasy 16 launched their second and final expansion, The Rising Tide. You get to use the Leviathan icon. Got to play a bit more story. I'll say this. I give me any excuse to go back into that game in that world because I really just enjoyed it so much. I don't think that this adds anything groundbreaking to the lore or to the story. It was really cool to get to use Leviathan as an icon because I do think that his move set and everything is it's pretty unique. And it's really great for crowd control. They did add a new round mode, which I haven't tried quite yet. I did mostly just the story so far, but I had a lot of fun. So you won't hear any complaints from me. I played both DLCs for 25 bucks for both DLCs as well. Like, honestly, it's a pretty good deal. Uh, really just had a great time playing it. In addition to that, also played Metal Gear Solid 2, finished it, have
Fuck yeah.
been playing Metal Gear Solid 3, and I'm going to finish it tonight. I I can't believe that I haven't played these games up until now because one, they're fantastic. I 100% I feel almost the way I felt when I played the Mass Effect series for the first time about 2 years ago. And honestly, it's a great time. Some incredibly memorable characters. I'll never look at anyone twisting their revolver the same way ever again. Ocelot is definitely like a super memorable character. The whole big boss Snake, Naked Snake, Solid Snake. It was a little confusing at first. I have it down now though.
Wait till
And
Metal Gear Solid 5 comes in and
yeah, just fucks everything up. I am a little sad because I'm gonna finish three and then I'm gonna be stuck a little bit. So I might have to sail the seven seas or find a way to get a hold of a PS3 or something to play Metal Gear Solid 4 and Peace Walker.
You
But
can't play 4 on anything other than a PS3.
you cannot. It's not on Steam. It is not on PlayStation. It is not on anything, which
oh,
Oh,
is
wow.
wild.
they
So
probably took it off of that PlayStation Plus list because they're probably planning on bringing it in
so
like a HD remastered Volume 2 collection.
Well, and the thing is, it's not even HD. It's just going to be the PS3 version, the HD PS3 version that they already had that like combined four and Peace Walker before.
The
And
Legacy
then,
Collection?
and then,
It,
yes,
it looked fantastic, though, at the time.
yes. And then,
Put that over
so
here.
you've got, I'm assuming they'll combine the one that
Oh,
Dash
yeah.
is grabbing right now and then they'll combine that with the Metal Gear Solid 5 definitive experience. So they'll have both Metal Gear Solid 5 games. There's the Phantom Pain and I can't remember what the other one's called, but I'm assuming they'll have those four games in the Master Collection Volume 2, which I will now pick up since I've had so much fun playing the first one. But I will say Metal Gear, I can absolutely see like the reason that it has kind of such a stranglehold on pop culture as it pertains to gaming. It is foundational. Definitely kind of just can't really put it any other way. Kojima was definitely ahead of his time, like especially as it pertains to VR and all of this like spy stuff. Metal Gear Solid 3 feels much more like Vietnam like James Bond than kind of Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 did. And there's good and bad parts to that. I won't dive into it too much, but I've had a lot of fun with all of them. I think my definitive ranking, I think I do like 2 the best just because I like the gameplay the best. The ending of 2 and the twist and everything is a little wacky. I don't hate it, but it was a little like just ran off the rails a little crazy. But I think
That's
as of
just
right
what gamer
now,
games, bro.
yeah, I think as of right now it'd be 2-1-3. Um, I one probably has the best story. If you had one with two's gameplay, one would clear like completely. So we'll see if when they remake Snake Eater, if it's successful. I'm sure they'll probably go ahead and
You'll be
remake
able to
one and
go in
two.
with like a fresh perspective too,
Yeah,
'cause you're, like coming right off of playing
exactly.
three.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. But so played those, played a little bit more Madden, with our guys Sherm and London and Baggy Dan, and really, I think aside from those things, I did not play like really any Hell Divers or anything else. And after, this is done, I am getting closer to kind of clearing out my backlog a little bit. Definitely preparing for college football to go ahead and launch in July. So gonna have a little bit about a 2 month span to catch up on anything, maybe hit some sales, and we'll see what happens. But Dash, what about you, man? What have you been playing this week?
Well, with it being NBA playoffs and it was free for PlayStation Plus members, I downloaded NBA 2K24 just to see. I
The Pelicans?
probably I probably deleted it in like within an hour because I'm not good at these kind of games. I'll stick with Madden and football because at least I can be decent at those games, but I suck at these basketball games. Which is, I used to have fun back in the day with like NBA Street games. Those were really fun back in the day, but
Yeah,
maybe it's more like those were more arcadey, so that's why I probably enjoyed those better than what, more simulation basketball's like. But I guess it's just one of those things where it's more enjoyable for me to watch it than play it, kind of
yeah.
thing.
I
Uh,
so kind of just to add to that, like I used to really enjoy playing those games, and then they've turned like my career into like uh you have to play like in the life of someone. I just want to play basketball, man. Like I just let me
it
play this
seems like
fucking game.
it seems like they have that stuff locked behind like seasons too. So there's like the season pass that goes with it. There's all the cosmetics and how they have the ultimate team and all that stuff. Like that's what they really seem to push you towards. Like they have like a franchise mode, but it's so bare bones, like kind of like Madden. It's just kind of like no point in messing around with it. Um, but besides, so that was just a small part because I've only played that for like an hour, but I figure it's worth mentioning because sports games.
Yeah,
Uh, but I did some more infection free zone. They've applied some small updates to like change like cosmetic stuff, so like icons and stuff. But this is an early access game, so they have like the whole roadmap that they're going to add features in. So they'll add like elevation. So I'm thinking like, ooh, what if I just make like a base up in the mountains or something? Like, how's that going to work? Can you just like go straight down the mountain, or you have to follow like a path? Uh, they're going to add more infection types, more story to it. Like, I got pretty decently far with one of my runs. I think that I did like one of the recommended starting areas, which was like some place in France, and got decently far to the point where it's like you get contacted by the military and they just basically are like, yeah, can you give us supplies and stuff? And I'm pretty sure I didn't reject them, but I'm pretty sure they can like get hostile with you if you don't work with them. So I'm not equipped to take on tanks and a bunch of soldiers with ARs, but the game's still kind of
Neither were the
crashes.
Taliban, but they managed. So
Yeah, a game crashes at here and there still, but you just send the bug report when that does happen. But really enjoy finding like vehicles, so you'll go out and find like a sedan or a van or something, and you can just load up. It makes looting so much easier because you can carry so much more and then get back and forth. Because early game you're exploring close to you, but then you really start spreading out as you go, and then sometimes, like later game, you're also getting swarmed by zombies. And of course, all my squads are out in the way. But thankfully, I built a whole bunch of towers around my area. I was trying to go through for the achievement to go 50 days without growing your own food. So you had to scavenge all these cans. But of course, I had like 200 people too. So I was going through my cans almost as fast as I was scavenging them. So of course, didn't get far enough because my game crashed. I still have that save file, I think, so I could go back and try that. But I just like messing around. I kind of made the suggestion to them on their website. I'm like, hey, I mean, I've just been going to like different places. Like I have a friend in DC. I went and use his apartment building as my headquarters when I did that. So that's kind of cool where you could just see like where someone, where one of your friends live, and you can see semi realistic like buildings like the White House and the Congress building actually have like the design those buildings would have, but some of the other buildings, if they're not like a key like landmark or something, they're just gonna look like a generic skyscraper apartment building kind of stuff. But it is a really cool concept. That's why I enjoy it so much. But I want the idea of like I just click it's like maybe a quick play button and it just drops you some random place in the world where you don't have any input where you start, just kind of here you are, just go crazy and try to survive with what you got. But did some more Dynasty Warriors 4. So I grinded through Extreme Legends and got the level 11 weapons for everyone. Some of them were pretty easy because their legend missions are pretty straightforward. It's like go here, kill this person, or sometimes it's kill this person 6 times. But like each unlock condition has something special you have to do, whether it's like get 200 kills in the mission, beat it in under 13 minutes, kill these every one of these officers also, make sure this condition happens. Like the Zhao Yu one was annoying because you have to find the baby within the first minute of the match. So, and it's random which box he's in. So you have to like quickly go from box to box trying to find him. And I have to reboot that quite a few times just to get that going. But once I got all those level 11 weapons, and I didn't really feel like just doing extreme mode all the time because there's no really carryover for that. Some of the I did the extra weapons, which one of them that took me a while was to do like one of the mini game kind of things where it's like a arena, but you gotta do it like 30 rounds without dying. And it just gets progressively harder with each round. And like by the time you're near that 30, the AI in this game is ridiculous because it's so cheap sometimes. They'll
Right.
just like they'll wait for you to attack and then they'll pop their Musho attack and just obliterate you sometimes. Uh, but I went on to Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires after that. This is the first Empires game in the Dynasty Warriors series where you just expand your empire and recruit officers and all that stuff. And your goal is just to take over every territory and that you can form alliances, which usually that's just used to give me a breather because they attack me every other turn if I don't ally with them. Uh, I've done a couple runs of that. There's really nothing like to work towards. Sometimes if you do the historical mode, you can sometimes get the special scenarios like the Yellow Turban Rebellion or Danju's uh, overthrow kind of stuff. But they have to be alive for these conditions to happen. So sometimes like someone eliminates Danjuo right away, so you're not gonna ever experience that scenario unless they're actually alive for that moment. So the later games, I know in Dynasty Wars 5, they actually had it where you had like different periods that you could start in. So it'd be like, here's the Yellow Turbo Rebellion, the Three Kingdoms, and you would have different people starting there. So it'd have more accurate maps depending on the time period. But I did a lot more of the random ones where you just choose a territory, you choose the officer you're starring with, and then it randomly places other officers around there and you just take it over. So the only thing to really unlock here, because you can't level up weapons, that's just done with the territories, and you upgrade your territories. They might have like a swordsmith or a weaponsmith, and that'll upgrade your weapon level to a higher one. But the only thing you can really unlock is ending scenes, so that like each depending on certain conditions, like if you're a good ruler, an evil ruler, a neutral ruler, or who you have in your army, it'll give you different types of endings. So there's different unlock conditions for each one of those scenes. So I guess if I really want 100% this, it's just mean the conditions of those, but it's not as convenient as what Dynasty Wars 5 Empires was from my memory because you can only have 12 officers and they're not very easy to recruit because you very rarely get a recruit option for that specific officer you're looking for. But look at me ramble on about Dinosaur so much. I fucking love this series. Uh,
You should play Three Kingdoms if you never did. Total War.
I will probably be picking up Three Kingdoms at some point because this Dynasty Wars just reminds me how much I love this period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's got the best diplomacy system
yeah,
in Total War, I think.
like Shogun obviously getting me wanting to play like Shogun 2
Yeah.
also. So maybe I'll have that as one I'm playing here in the future. Let's see, what else have I been playing? Fallout New Vegas, still a little bit of that. Not as much as I would have liked, but I've done like the rest of Prim. I went to the prison and got one of the that sheriff there and pretty much cleared it out. What I don't like is the fact is I'm already vilified with the outer keggers, but if I loot anything in that prison, I'm stealing and I get bad karma. So I'm not sure why that should matter if we're already at war with a faction essentially. Like I'm just looting, I'm not stealing. But it's not like I need the shit anyway, so I just left it alone. I'm trying to be a good person for this run. Then I made it down to like the NCR base, and I think I saved at that point. And finally, I got back into Lethal Company because I got some friends who never played it that finally. One of them I bought the game for like months ago, and he never played with me. So I finally got him to play, and we got another guy. So it was just the three of us. And we're doing this vanilla. We're not even doing it with the mods or anything, which is a change of pace because I spent the majority of my time playing with all those mods that kind of had like some quality of life stuff, like the flashlight slot and unlimited sprint and no fall damage, so you could just kind of breeze through some stuff without having to deal with like slowly carrying stuff back to the ship. But I mean, it's really fun because they just had another big update, which added two new moons and then new enemy types. And also, I this caught me off guard, but there's now like traps inside some of the moons. So like, I didn't know what I was look at, what killed me. I just walked this, walked down around the corner, and then something just drops from the ceiling and slams down me. And then my friend comes and just gets hit by the same thing. It's like a spike trap that just drops down on top of
Hmm.
you constantly. So I didn't know they had traps anymore. I guess that's probably something that was part of that version 50 update. But
Yeah.
the new moon, well, there's you have to go to this new moon, which is like in the tier two, and then you have to get a key and unlock this cabin. And then now unlock Artificer, which is a tier four moon, so it's harder than even Titan, Rend, and Dying. And when you get to that moon, the outdoor areas like all these warehouses and stuff, and then there's these giant robots that fly at you. They'll shoot rockets. It's just pure chaos. There's also a new enemy type in the bunkers called the Butler. So he'll just like go around sweeping, but then if you aggro him, he'll pull out a knife, and it's really fast stabbing weapon. Which if you kill him, you get the knife, and it's really good. It's lightweight and it has a higher attack speed than the shovel. So if you want to kill something, I mean, it just has a very small attack radius, so you
Yeah.
gotta get close to stuff. And also when you kill him, he bursts into bees, so you gotta get away from the bees.
Not the
Not the
bees.
bees. Not the bees.
Yeah.
But that's been my week essentially, so that's all I got.
Awesome. Eric, what about you, man?
Man, less eventful than dashes for me. Um, so didn't play much during the week. I've only really kind of for single player stuff. I've really only messed with Madden. I got further in my third season. I have broken Randy Moss's touchdown receptions record with Drake London. I have broken Peyton Manning's touchdown passes record with CJ Stroud and about to beat the passing yardage record too, as well. Bijan Robinson, I've broken the rushing record. I broke it the year, not in this season, but I broke it the last season with like 38 touchdowns. Um,
Jesus.
I've got three, and so I don't play on all Madden because I don't hate myself, but I play on all pro with some
Yeah.
sliders, and I have three DBs with 12 plus interceptions. So I've already actually I broke the record the year before with Derek Stingley, and I'm gonna break it again, and it's his own record, so it's pretty cool. But I've got a nice little secondary. I've got Will Anderson might break the sack record close to that. But no, I'm in like week 17, 18. I got my own little Cardinals franchise. I built the team up a little bit. And so that's just my wind down stuff. Like
Yeah.
work's been kind of killing me. I've been spending a little bit more time with the lady. We finished Modern Family, which was man, look, Modern Family is one of my favorite sitcoms ever now. It's fucking hysterical.
I was literally watching it during lunch today. And
Dude,
it's
what season are you on?
So still season one. It's
Oh,
I was watching the episode where um Phil has a kidney stone and they called the
yeah,
firemen over
yeah.
and she keeps putting like high heels on every single time they come over.
Oh man.
It's great.
I was hooked from the first episode where Cam's dressed up as Fizbo, or like in the first season, and he's yelling at the dude at the gas pump, and he pulls
Yeah.
up the big goofy claw. He's just, all right, time to go. He's all
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
Oh man. And but other than that, man, I played a lot of Valorant over the weekend. I didn't play any games on Saturday really, but Friday night game night with the boys, me and my boy Andrew, aka Morph, we played some Valorant on Friday night, and then Sunday night we played again.
Man, it
And
really
so,
was a light week for you, huh?
man, that's all I've really felt like playing, man. I haven't felt like
Yeah.
I liked Road Trader, but I don't know, it kind of got a little monotonous. It's definitely like for me, it's nowhere near Outcat's other game, Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite RPGs I've ever played. And this is just okay.
Wow.
Like it's fun, but it
Good.
like once I finish it, I'll go back to it eventually. I'm not playing it again.
Man, I'm gonna have to go add that to my
It's a
wish
good
list.
it's a good on sale game.
Yeah.
But because I mean, especially if you like 40K, it's fun for that. But I just, I don't know. It's became a little bit of a slog in Act Two for me,
Okay.
and and apparently it gets worse toward the end of the game.
Okay.
I'm sure, like many Outcat games, it's gonna have a bunch of
It's just got so many
DLC.
different outcomes and
Yeah.
shit too.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much it. That's all I really ran into this past week.
Hell yeah. Well, so in addition to the games we're playing, we mentioned last week that we're going to start shouting out, anytime some of our previous guests or, people we're associated with are starting in new games. We wanted to make sure shout out Scott Joseph is actually taking part in Dragon's Dogma 2. You may recognize Scott as the voice of the Emperor in Baldur's Gate 3, who we obviously had the amazing opportunity to interview so many people who were associated with this game, voice directors, actors, Amelia Tyler, who's the narrator, which I just saw that she is going to narrate the Baldur's Gate like orchestra at a show, I think in
Yep.
Philly, which it looks awesome. So if you're in the Philly area, you're absolutely going to want to go ahead and check that out. So some gaming news this week. We've been talking a lot about Fallout, and for good reason. Show was great. Walton Goggins, we love him. And one thing that we saw the same thing with The Last of Us when it launched. The games received a huge bump in sales. And if we go ahead and we even take a look at most played games right now on Steam, uh, the third highest played game on Steam right now is Fallout 4. So that should tell you something. One, it's obviously the show has reignited interest in the games, and obviously these are games that are incredibly highly rated to begin with.
Fallout
Fallout
4 getting
4,
that big next gen
Oh,
update too.
yeah,
yeah. Well, 500% increase in Steam concurrent players is
yeah,
insane.
and
Yep.
and even Fallout 76, which was more of kind of a maligned title in the
I've never
Fallout
played it.
series.
I
I have it. I have
I,
never
I
played
played
it.
it the first day, turned it off,
see
uninstalled it.
at launch I heard it was just absolutely terrible, buggy. It's been improved
I
over
hear
all
the
these.
community is the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like apparently like it's nothing for like someone to just like start the game and then like a level 800 comes up and just builds somebody a base and then just says, "Hey, have fun," and then
yeah.
walks off.
Which that is actually pretty awesome. Like you don't really get that sense of community from a lot of other games.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind giving it a try. I just Bethesda games are just for me. Like I still just don't think that I'd love it. But who knows? Maybe I did really enjoy the show. So maybe it'll be enough for me to maybe even give the series a try. I own every one of the games because Epic gave them all away for free at some point. And so literally like even the old Fallout like 1 and 2
Oh,
They
two is
um
are.
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm about
and
to say the first two are very good. Just you gotta watch out for the first one because it has, very early game design where it doesn't hold your hand, it doesn't tell you where to go, it doesn't
yeah.
tell you what to do. Like I get to that Mariposa military base, and
Mhm.
how the fuck am I supposed to know I'm supposed to use a science skill on this one little computer in the corner that looks exactly like all the other computers in the corner
Yeah.
to lower like force field and shit? Like There's so much shit I would never know if I didn't go online to look.
Yeah, it's just it is a little dated. But I mean, the thing is, Fallout 4 looks very similar to Starfield to me. So,
Yeah.
and especially, new next gen patch coming out. So, also, Baldur's Gate 3 is still in the top 15 of
Not surprised.
current players, which is just shows its staying power. What a fucking game. So obviously, in addition to Fallout, some other gaming news we got this week. Seven Ways to Die has exited early access after a decade. I
Jesus.
think we need to have a discussion about
I used to play that
like
game too. I
yeah,
thought it was already out. Like,
like
I've never played
well,
it.
and the thing is like what is this gonna do? What exactly? Okay, I will say this. It's really fucked up that they're gonna make you rebuy the game. If so, the price for PlayStation users, if you own the early access version, you are gonna have to rebuy the game. They're gonna give it to you at a discounted rate, but it's just like ugh. And so it's coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X. It released in early access 12 years ago. Yeah. And so to coincide with the news, the game is going to increase in price to 44.99. And I get like they're trying to say like, this is all the work we've put in and everything, but also increasing the cost of your game after 10 years is this feels a little slimy.
it's not a $45 game. It's Minecraft with zombies. That's it.
Yeah.
It
I
literally
just
works off of blocks. It's,
yeah. I don't I don't necessarily when the game first came out, I remember when it was coming out and
I
I
enjoyed it for what it
yeah.
is. I like me and my friends had a server that we would play on for quite a bit. So, like, what are they adding feature wise, I guess, in this full release that wasn't in the game already to justify the increase in price?
Yeah. So just very odd that they're deciding to do this now. And again, just feels meh that they're deciding to go ahead and raise the price. But the thing is, you can pick it up right now on Steam for like $6. And I think that if you do go ahead and purchase it now, you will if the current PC owners will not have to pay for the new version. So if you're going to buy it, you may as well just buy it now, get it really cheap, and you'll get that next gen version. So in addition to this, so one of the topics we have discussed very heavily over the span, I'd say, of this show, but I'd say more specifically over, let's say, the last like 6 to 8 months has been layoffs in the gaming industry. One of the, I think, biggest companies who's laid a ton of people off, and we've seen like actual results of what's happened as a result of that, is the Embracer Group. So, Embracer Group has announced via an official press release that they are going to split their company into three different companies. It just seems like they're just finding more ways to try and cut costs. And so one of their companies is going to be called Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends, which will lead Lord of the Rings IP, Tomb Raider, as home to Crystal Dynamics. It'll also house Flying Wild Hog Studios, Tripwire, PlayOn, and some other creative teams. So this Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends is going to be kind of their AAA game factory. So this all follows just again a huge series of layoffs that they've done at multiple divisions within Embracer. We found out that they canceled the DSX game that was being made at Eidos Montreal, and that team is now going to fall under this Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends. That just sounds weird. And so, and this comes after they've already sold off Saber Interactive and they've also sold off Gearbox. So their Embracer just seems like it's a gaming company not run by gamers. And people, it's putting the wrong people in charge who are and maybe the thing is maybe it was ran bad from the start. We'll never know. But at this point, it just I can say that it's not being run well now. Like it's and so Also, give me a new Legacy of Kain game. Like, what is taking so long? Why are we not funding this? Ben Starr already says he wants to come in as Raziel. Like, give the people what they want.
Hmm.
Give Ben what he wants. He deserves it.
Yeah, let our man do his destiny.
Hmm.
So today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter. It's been a light week, obviously, for us gaming, but also a pretty light week in terms of gaming news as well. For one of our last things that we're going to be talking about here, it came out, and I guess this is just more of a broader conversation. So, Epic reached out to Disney and has been talking with them about potential characters that they'd like to go ahead and put in Fortnite. Well, in addition to this, Epic has also reached out to Nintendo and asked about the prospect of putting Samus Aran in Fortnite, which would be awesome because Samus is the best character in Super Smash Brothers, and I will hear no argument for this.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
Nintendo actually originally did not say no, but they had the caveat that you can put Samus in the game, but it can only be available on the Nintendo Switch,
I must say,
which
there's not a single
there
Nintendo
is not
character.
a single licensed Nintendo character in Fortnite. Billie fucking Eilish is in Fortnite as of this week.
That's a dangerous thing to have in that game.
There's a lot of different ways you could go with that. I'm gonna just leave it. But we've seen pop stars aplenty, obviously, in the game. Ariana
Hmm.
Grande, The Weeknd, Billie Eilish now. We've seen stars from like pillars of these other gaming franchises. Kratos, like who is a PlayStation stalwart, who might
Marcus Phoenix.
be, yeah, Marcus Phoenix. We've seen Master Chief. We've like these are the faces of this industry for PlayStation and for Xbox. And I mean, PlayStation probably saw, hey, there's going to be some dollar signs behind this. Like, let's fucking go ahead and do it. Nintendo is steadfast in their
It
resolve.
like it makes no sense to make something exclusive for the Switch because everything in Fortnite is cross-progressive. So anything that you own on your Fortnite account in the Switch is going to be accessible or should be accessible on the PS4 or PS5 or Xbox or PC versions too. So it
Yes,
makes
Sounds
no
sounds
sense.
like it won't.
it,
Yep.
it, it wouldn't. And so Epic came back to Nintendo at this point and said, no.
Nah.
So if you're not going to allow us to put in, Samus in every game, then we're not going to put her in any of them. And so I do think this is a missed opportunity because aside from just being cool and like Samus is a really cool character and she'd be a super welcome addition to the game, just the fact that I do think when you put these characters in Fortnite, I think it does also give you kind of just like a mini marketing as well because they put like I'm pretty sure Snake has been in Fortnite, like Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, 90% sure.
Hmm.
And so I know Snake is for sure in Smash Brothers, but
Yep. He's
so
in Fortnite, yeah.
yeah, okay. So like I'm sure that putting Snake in Fortnite made maybe some of the younger generation say, well, who's Snake? Like what game does he come from? What game can I play that Snake's in? And then they go and they look it up. And they say, oh, Metal Gear Solid. Like maybe that's a game that I'd like. Maybe they go ahead and they check it out from there. Like, and I think that I look at Metroid as kind of Nintendo's redheaded stepchild in that like I don't think they give it the love that it should. Obviously they've got their cash cows in Mario and Zelda, and so Link and Mario are going to be the poster children for Nintendo, and rightfully so. But there is like that's they're not limited to just those two characters. Like Nintendo has a plethora of characters that they could go ahead and work with, and a ton who would fit super well in Fortnite. You've got Mario, you've got Link, you've got DK, you've got Samus, you've got like there's so many different people that they could go ahead and work with. They just choose not to. So I think it's a huge missed opportunity. I'm also kind of glad that Epic took a stand. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, I love Epic, like they're whatever. But I think it's good that they stood, on their business here a little bit and said, no, we're not gonna go ahead and do that. But one last thing I think that we'll go ahead and mention just before we go ahead and close out tonight. So Stellar Blade reviews launch today. The game launches tomorrow. Game
Good
reviews have
reviews.
looked pretty good so far. I played the demo. The game looks great. The combat is crispy. It is great. If you liked Near Automata, if put that with more of like a soulsy, like difficult, challenging gameplay, this is going to be your game. And I can appreciate that the creators of the game have said like, yeah, we thought she looked really hot, and so we put Eve in the game. That's why she looks like this. Like aside from the Kojima explanations of like why certain characters look the way they do in Metal Gear Solid, like, come on, man. Let's let's
The,
not let's
the
not
Metal Gear
bullshit.
Solid 5 shower scene
Yeah,
kind of
it's
stuff.
just like I've seen some of the explanations of like why they decided to do certain things, and it's just like this is ridiculous. Just like I appreciate, same thing with like the Nier creator. He has been like, yeah, I like the way she looks, and this is why we're gonna go ahead and make her look this way. I can at least appreciate the honesty. So um I think that about covers everything. You guys have anything else? And like I said, it's been a pretty slow week this week.
Did you see
Watch Shogun.
like that 3 hour Hades 2
I haven't had a
review?
chance to check it out, but I
There
definitely would like to.
it looks very crispy. I mean, the new character obviously is going to have a very different play style than what's
Zagreus.
Zagreus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it started with a Z. I'm like, what
Yeah.
is tip on tongue? Yeah, so definitely looks really cool. I mean, we got some of the returning characters coming in there and some new ones, so it looks really cool. It reminds me I need to actually do a full run of Hades, which I haven't done yet.
It's fucking hard,
I
but
got
I
my
know.
ass beat. I
yeah,
got my ass beat. I just fucking said, nope, I'm good. I'm gonna go back eventually, but I got my ass whipped.
Maybe
I
before Hades 2 comes out, I can do that.
you got to do it. And like Eric said, watch Shogun. I have started it. I'm really enjoying it. I am only one episode in though, so I gotta catch up.
Yabushige gang.
we we
Yabushige.
we stand Shogun on this show.
I
So
just love that. I like the guy who plays Blackthorn's name, Cosmo Jarvis. It's just a fucking good name.
I love the meme where it's just like people are just like, having John Blackthorne say something, and then they'll just have like Mariko translate it in like the simplest way possible.
Hmm.
The Anjin is angry about shrimp.
All right. Well, I think that's a perfect place to go ahead and stop us here.
Oh
Again, thank
yeah.
you to everybody who's checked the show out. We always appreciate you guys. Be sure to go ahead and check out next week. We'll be sure to bring in some fun stuff. Hopefully, we're getting a little bit more news next week, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Thank you.